Today we are gathered to discover one of the most important masterpieces of our contemporary time. It is not the Bible. It is not the Quran. It is not the Spoke of Zarathustra. Neither is the Aleph or Fahrenheit 741. Today, MCT was the responsible for making hundreds, if not thousands, of people rich from all around the world. Today's masterpiece was created by Napoleon Hill. So you might have an idea what we're talking about right now. We're going to be discovering, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, acquaintances, mates, the book that changed a lot of lives. And personally, it changed mine. Today's MCT, and I'd like to give an applause to this man. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Let's clap. Do you know this book? If you don't know, we're going to discover it together today. So, let's go. I promise you one thing. As soon as you leave this room today, you're going to learn, you're going to get two things. The first one, you're going to discover what is the meaning of being rich in a brand new way, which I assume you might not already discover until this moment. And in the second place, you're going to be rich. In 6 months, in 1 year, in 1 day, in 2 years, in 5 years, I don't mind. But you will be rich. And before starting, I like to clarify 3 points. First one, thank you for being here today. For 2 main reasons. The first one, to have a nice time. Have a real nice time. And the second one, to have the will to evolve as human beings. The second one is that I cannot do this alone. So, I need your help. Today we're going to be constructors and architects. Both, why not? And we're going to build our palace. Yes, we're going to be building our palace. Your palace. Your palace, your palace. We're going to make it writing down our scheme in this board right here. And at the same time, I'll ask you for a pencil and a sheet of paper. Nothing else. Because today's adventure is going to be the most interactive one. We're going to write down the statements, we're going to play games, and we're going to ask ourselves questions. Therefore, I have my pen and sheet of paper ready. So let's start by writing a statement. We're going to writing what follows. Attention. First statement. Everything the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Shall we write it down? Let's go. Everything the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. All right? Shall I hear it to it once? Oh, okay. We are bracing ourselves. Excellent. Everything the mind can achieve and conceive, the mind can believe. Everything the mind can achieve and conceive, the mind can believe. Let's repeat this. Everything the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Everything the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. And this is what we're going to be discovering today. In third place, I want to ask you, would you like to be rich? Would you like to be millionaire? Okay, hands up, excellent. I see some rising up hands, that's awesome. I want to be millionaire as well. And we will be millionaire. I will be, you will be millionaire. And if you don't want to be millionaire, I offer you some new definition about this term, which I know you will really like. So you are invited. In fourth place, I say bonus. Today's content might be sensible, might be sensitive, especially for sensitive people. Because it's information, it's a sort of information that we might not ever heard about. Therefore, it might be a little bit touching. So, since we are all together as a team, there's nothing to worry about. I'm with you, they are with you, we are all together. So, shall we start? Let's go. Let's start by discovering who was this man who created this masterpiece. Wow, it must have been really genius. So, Napoleon Hill, he was working as a journalist in his college, and one day was offered to interview Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie, one of the king of petroleum back on the last century. He entered this room and introduced himself. Hello, my dear Carnegie, I'm Napoleon Hill and I'm here to interview. Okay, little Napoleon, that's my pleasure. I see something in your eyes, dear Napoleon. I'd like to offer you something that you'll not be able to reject. I offer you what follows. I'll give you secrets. I'll tell you why the people are rich, and therefore I'll give you the secret to be rich. But only one condition, but under one condition. You'll have to create the science of successful people and share it all around the world. Napoleon replied, okay, I'll make that. And there was born a genius which purpose was to create a how to be rich science and philosophy. The success philosophy by Napoleon Hill went all around the world, and thanks to him, a lot of people were able to make it till this life stages of richness and being millionaire. And today we're going to discover what this really means. Because what does being rich mean? Before reading this MCT, I used to think another thing. Please tell me. Now I think a certain new way, which I really cherish. Inside this MCT, there is contained 13 steps to being rich. And the more we understand, the more we play, the more we experiment with these steps, the more fun we will have, and the more we'll get rich and rich and richer and richer. And there's a secret between these lines, and the secret tells us Napoleon. It's not written as we might think. It's written all along this book 100 times, at least. So, in the time we discover what's the secret to being rich, it will be a so important time in our lives. And let's celebrate about that as well. So, let's start with the first step to being rich. Thoughts are things, tells us Napoleon in his introduction. Thoughts are things. What does this mean? Okay, let's think about this. Thoughts are things. Shall we write this? Let's go. Thoughts are things. Awesome handwriting. Wow, awesome handwriting. Real nice. Okay, I like those colors. Thoughts are things. Therefore, I can imagine if I think about something, this will be a thing, right? So that's the right answer. Thoughts are things. As long as I think about something, it will be something tangible, something I can hold at the end of the day. And that's the base of this theory, of this science, of this philosophy. Edwin A. Barnes, our first step protagonist. Edward A. Barnes was a man who was poor, poor as for money and poor as for soul. He didn't have any expectations of life. He didn't have any sort of wish. One day, this changed all around. He woke up and he felt something new. He felt something new. He was feeling something new. Something beautiful. Something really worth imagining. He realized that he was carrying a willing desire for the first time in his life. He was enthusiastic. He was alive. He was with a will to do things. Wow. He was awake. Edward A. Barnes was awake for the first time in his life. Then, what was Edward's desire? Edward's desire was to be Thomas Alva Edison's main associate. Oh boy, that's interesting. Yes, you listen to it very well. He wanted to be the associate of one of the most important creators of all time. That was his desire. Wow, I want to do this. I feel alive. What a blessing. So, this man at first didn't have the money for taking a train. Not a single ticket, not a single dollar on his wallet. Yet, we don't know why, we don't know how, but he was able to get $1 after $1 and buy this ticket to make it to Thomas Alva Edison's office, which was real far away from his land. At the time, this man entered Thomas Alva Edison's office with the words already constructed in a certain way to let know Thomas Alva Edison he was going to be his associate. Thomas Alva Edison told this image, this scenery, as follows. I saw this man entering through my office, and the first thing I thought is, wow, he's a common poor man, living in poverty, a homeless common man. But I could see something in his eyes. I could see something that told me, I'm going to do what I'm willing to, and I don't mind the consequences. I will do it even though I have to die for it. I've seen, continue telling us Thomas Alva Edison, a lot of men in my life, so I get a hold of how the human nature works. And I know the men and women who have a strong desire and who are decided to make something, even though they have to face challenges and tough times. Those are the people who achieve it. There's no place for doubt in his eyes. This was Thomas Alva Edison's description about this moment. He was stated this, and then 5 years passed by. In these 5 years, it was so interesting the fact that Edwin A. Barnes was working really hard with the machines in the factory, with the all the stuff that implies this environment. But you know what? He was with a smile on his face. And now, shall we tell the other mate's point of view? What is he even doing already? He's smiling, but he's having a tough time. This factory is horrible. What is he doing, man? Yeah, what is he doing? He's crazy. Okay, let's get out of here. Right? So, why was this man with a smile on his face even though he was doing a hard job? Let's ask ourselves the following question. How would you imagine this story ended? Let's write down our first question. How did Edwin's story ended? Okay, wow. Some enthusiastic pencils going round. I love that. I get to answer myself as well. You got it. Nice. Okay. How does this story ended? How does this story unfolded? After 5 years of working with a smile on his face, he became Thomas Alva Edison, main associate. But not only that, he became rich after 5 years. How did he do this? And most important, by which means did he achieve this? First, let's go with the second question. Edwin A. Barnes was given an opportunity. As it turns out, Thomas Alva Edison, one creation was not successful at all. He created something that people were not looking at, right? What to do? They're not looking at my product. And then Edwin came in. Edwin saw this as an opportunity to expand this product and generate interest between all the world. He made a plan as soon as he saw this situation, and in this plan was contained his richness. He started to travel all around the United States with this plan, making it real and selling this product that in first place was not successful at all whatsoever. It was a failure, but he made it through, just like we pass a test with flying colors. What is this about? This is about having a burning desire. And not only that, this man was so wise, was so burning inside that in the moment he was dealing with this horrible machine, he was already imagining himself stretching Thomas Alva Edison's hand and making his desire become real. Let me tell you this again. In the moment this man was struggling with the machines, he was thinking and thinking and thinking and feeling that he was already in process of his desire. That's what happened. There's nothing more into this smile that got this man's state of mind into 5 years. So, thoughts are things. Shall we verify this by this story? Let's go. Thoughts are things. And the first step to being rich is the burning desire. So let's go. Let's go write our first step to being rich. Here we have our scheme. Okay. First step to being rich, architects, constructors. Burning desire. And now, let's define what is this, right? Because have you ever heard about this before? My dear architect, constructor, have you ever heard about a burning desire before? If I tell you burning desire, what image do you get in your mind, right? Burning desire, nice. It's something that is a wish. It's something that I need. It's a need. It's something that I'm willing for. It's something that I achieve. Sort of. The burning desire is the one that does not recognize failure. The burning burning desire is a desire that is so big, so powerful, so igniting, I'm burning inside, that I won't admit any failure. I will get it. It doesn't matter the consequences, it doesn't matter the conditions, it doesn't matter the environment. I will get it. Because I'm living for this. I'm living for this desire. I'm thirsty for this desire. There's nothing else to do. And that was the burning desire of Edwin A. Barnes. And this burning desire has two main features. The first one, the burning desire has to be for the sake of humanity. Therefore, it has to have a lot of benefits for the people all around the world. Only benefits. And the second one is that it has to be for my sake. So, it has to be healthy for me. And it has to be carrying nice consequences for me. That's the burning desire. It has to be good for people and good for me. That's the burning desire. And shall we ask ourselves the next question? Because until I read this book, I'm going to be honest, I never questioned this myself. What is my burning desire? Let's write down. Great. What is my burning desire? What do I want to get from life? What I'm thirsty of? What I want to get with all my life? What is that? I'm sure you get the answer. You'll get the answer really soon. And if you didn't get it by now, you'll get it really soon. Yes. Or maybe you get it right now, right? So that's great. I will write down mine because, as we told, we're doing this together. Please take your time. Okay, I get it. Nice. Do you get it? All right. That's great. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your brightness. Nice. Okay. First step to being rich, burning desire. Shall we go on? Oh, you're liking this. All right. Let's go. The second step to being rich is something really, really surprising. As for me, I read it the first time. It was so mind-blowing. So, we're going to say one word all together. And this word, I ensure you that you will remember for the rest of your life. It's a real famous word, especially in the religion environment. So, the second step to being rich is faith. 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 What is faith? Okay, what is faith? Let's do a selling, buying event, right? Please tell me your best offer. What is faith? Eternity. Awesome definition, real poetical, nice. What is faith? Love? Real nice. We have a lot of artists right here. What is faith? Nothing is impossible. Really nice. What is faith? Everything is possible. Positive definition. Awesome. What is faith? Faith is... Oh, that's a nice definition. You tell me the definition that Napoleon tells us. Faith, in terms of Napoleon's definition, is one of the three most supreme emotions which, in the time they are combined, they color the thoughts to the extent that we have direct communication with the intelligence that is infinite. And this might be a bit of a complex definition, right? So let's define faith. by the next statement. Faith is the eternal elixir which gives life to all the thoughts impulses. Let's write down. Faith is the eternal elixir which supplies life to all the thoughts, impulses. You like this definition? Let's repeat it once again. Faith is the eternal elixir, it will never end, that supplies life to every thought impulse. Let's get it once more. Faith is the eternal elixir which supplies life to all the thoughts impulses. Once more. Faith is the eternal elixir which supplies life to all the thoughts impulses. That's faith. And faith is the second step. Faith has two main features. The first one is that faith has to be based in a burning desire. Therefore, to have faith, I have to have faith in something. So, Napoleon told us, none of the miracles that Jesus have done, or Buddha, or any wise man of our history has done, was nothing else but faith. They believed, they surely believed about their burning desire. They had so much of a level of belief that they didn't have the space for failure. These miracles are nothing but faith. And therefore, we might think that faith is a real nice emotion. Okay, Juan, you got me. I want to, by faith, to develop my burning desire, to feel this eternity, to feel that nothing is impossible, that everything is possible. I want to be part of this emotion. How can I do it? The only way to produce faith is by practicing it. Just as we practice in sport, volleyball, basketball and football, or any discipline. Faith, we have to practice it. So, Napoleon's judgment about religions is pretty much accurate because he tells us, okay, all the religions around the world, ancient and actual as well, tells us that we have to have faith about something. But was I ever asked, hey, what do you have faith in? What do you have faith in? And did they tell me how to have faith? I don't remember hearing that. Did it ever tell you? Interesting. So, in order to have faith, we have to believe in something and to create this faith. And one real successful example we're going to explain real briefly, because this is a long story. Three protagonists, J.P. Morgan, Charlie S. Schwab, and Andrew Carnegie. Charlie S. Schwab was invited to a 80 richest men of United States event. They were all gathered together to discuss rich subjects. The guest was going there with a plan. He wanted to give birth to the United Steel Corporation Company. This gigantic company, one of the most important as for steel material. And he was willing to give a speech about his plan in order to make this company real. He gave a speech in front of 80 of the richest men of America, just as if he was doing it at his house. gave this speech, and the men stayed, lips closed. Why? It wasn't because they were amused. It was because this plan was so great, so fabulous, so logical, that they were mind blown. Wow. After that, this Charlie Schwab, our dear Charlie, went to the balcony to conversate 1 hour more with JP Morgan about this. JP Morgan needed lots of time to digest this plan that he knew he was going to become real. Then these 3 men gathered and discussed the technical data, technical information and facts about this future plan. At the end of the day, this company was sold to JP Morgan for $400,000 million. Yes, $400,000 million. Interesting number. And the funny thing about this is that JP Morgan told later to their 2 sellers, I could have bought this one for $500,000 million, even more, because this plan was perfect. It was perfect. At the end of the day, the United Steel Corporation was created by 1 man. Yes? Excuse me? By 1 man? That's right. This company was created by 1 man who had a burning desire, who had faith. What question are we remaining? So we are lacking 1 question. How do we have faith? Third step to being rich. Self-suggestion. The power of the brain. Okay, let's play our first game. Shall we play? Yeah, let's play our first game. So, I want to ask you 1 question, and this is really important. What do you feel, or better, what do you think of when you are in love? Well, I see some smiling faces. Okay. I see some heart beating. Nice. Let's make the perfect mood. Nice. Okay. What do you think of when you're in love with this with this boy, with this girl, with anyone, right? With anything. What do you think when you're in love? Nice. Holding his hand. Okay. What else? Being with him or her. Alright. Looking at him or her. Okay. I get it. I understand. What else? Oh, nice. Walking in the park with him or her. We're getting really romantic. Okay. This is very nice. So, that's great. And we can imagine being with this person, grabbing him or her hand, buying him or her some coffee, saying some really nice words, right? So we can imagine this as we are in love. And this is totally common. This is totally normal. This is great. And we can imagine further actions as well. I have to tell you something. What we just did, is called self-suggestion. And it's nothing more than imagining ourselves in possess of our burning desire. And this is the only way to make faith grow. So, self-suggestion is the process for which our minds can conceive a potential reality, but there's one feature to this. As we imagine it, we have to feel, really ensure, we have to feel this emotion that we are having this in reality. We are conceiving this. We are already in that place. We are already with that person. We are already with this product in our hands. And we feel it and we touch it. And we can get a hold of this by our senses. That's self-suggestion. And it's so powerful. Self-suggestion feeds faith. And faith feeds our burning desire. This is getting big. right? Let's go. So, what example can we give about self-suggestion? Blair Hill, Napoleon's youngest son. He was born deaf. Napoleon rejected to this condition, so he was telling to himself something like this: I will make my son hear. So Napoleon told every day Blair this: son, you're going to listen, 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 you're going to listen. And he read his youngest son tales before going to sleep, stories, history books. He read to him even though he was deaf, he wasn't hearing anything. He also played some music like this, signs, gestures. At 4 years, finally, Blair Hill heard a sound coming from a music player. His first time. As time passed by, Napoleon kept doing this to his son, telling this self-suggestion. And he had to struggle with authorities, which they wanted to send him to a really special school for deaf people. But Napoleon rejected to this, and he kept feeding his son with self-suggestion desires. When Blair started to attend university, he was offered a device to deaf people. This device is that amplifies our sound frequency so that we can hear sounds clearer. He was offered this. It didn't work. He was offered the second one. It didn't work. He was offered the third one. It worked. So, when he was in university, he was able to listen. And thank you very much, Father, right? Because I was able to listen again. And that's the power of self-suggestion. Napoleon was not happy with his son's situation. So, therefore, he created another reality by telling him that he will listen, creating this image in his mind, and therefore the feeling that the son surely was fulfilled with. But this is not the end of the story. What happened next? Blair had a burning desire, a brand new burning desire, and it was to make all the world listen. All the deaf people listen. How? Blair spent 1 year of researching about electronic device management and information data, how to make this, how this functions, were all gathered in order to make people have the most powerful device in order to hear. He contacted a real nice company in order to make the marketing, make the conditions of the market to sell this product to the world. He made it. He made thousands, dozens of thousands of people that were deaf hear again because of the burning desire, the faith, and the self-suggestion that his father gave him as a gift in first place. So this is a really beautiful story. I hope you liked it, and I hope that when we go through a tough time, we can use this story as a motivation. Shall we? Let's go. So, self-suggestion. Let's move on to our fourth step to being rich. But after that, let's do a mini break. So, please tell me, dear architects, dear constructors, how are you feeling? Wow, I see some real nice tools. I see some real nice actions. Right, we're constructing our palace. So, this is getting beautiful. I'm going to drink a little bit of water and let's continue. So, our skin is getting better and better. Fourth step to being rich. Let's write down. And this is going to be something more tangible, that we can hold more with our hands. So, specialized Knowledge. We have two kinds of knowledge. One, the general knowledge. This is the one that we can find in the university, in the books, or even in courses through our professors, teachers, masters. This is the knowledge which we can get easily. And there's another kind of knowledge. The knowledge called specialized knowledge. And this is the knowledge that is used only for one purpose. This knowledge, this data, this information that is potential, is only used to reach our burning desire. That's the specialized information. A specialized information, burning desire. I use this information, this knowledge, in order to catch my burning desire. And therefore, we are one. Special knowledge. I use the knowledge that is in my brain to get my burning desire. Because if not, knowledge is something dead. A specialist knowledge, we can explain it with a really nice story. A boy which was about to graduate himself from school as for economics, he was going to enter a company. He was willing to enter a really nice company, which he has a lot of faith for working in. And we, of course, everyone know that when we want to enter a company, we have to hand in a document to show our capacities, our experience, the place where we worked before, right? This boy was going to make this document, but his mom came in. As it turns out, his mom was a really important lawyer, really experienced, really wise lawyer. So he knew everything. His son was lucky. He told her son, okay son, we're going to do this the right way. We're going to do this document as it follows. On one part, we're going to write all your qualities, your purpose, your desires, your experiences, and your past studies, your past institutions as where you studied. And on the other place, we're going to write down, and we're going to research ourselves, what is this company about? Who is their boss? What is the environment in which you're going to work? And even who are the competitors of this company? Which products do they sell? Why do they sell the products? What is this company searching for? What kind of people are this company searching for? He made a really huge document, really complete, really accurate, really insightful, in order to hand in this to his future boss. And what is this? Architects and constructors, why are we telling all this? Because this knowledge, this experiences, qualities, researching, this knowledge that this little boy acquired through his college years was used to one purpose, one burning desire. And it was this boy working for this company which he dreamed all his life. And he made his document with the help of professionals. So nowadays we are surrounded by professional people, their services, right? We have a burning desire. We have faith in this because we are self-suggesting ourselves that we're going to make it. We're lacking something. Which knowledges do I need to enter this area? And most important, how will I acquire these knowledges? Professionals. So, when we know which knowledges should we have in order to make this become real, we're going to go to professionals, ask them for the help. Ask them, okay, how should I do this document? How should I do this process? How should I develop this product? Because the professionals are the one who know about their affairs, their matters, their subjects, We have this opportunity to contract them in order to make our desire become real. This is awesome. This is the land of opportunities. We have everything in our hands in order to make it real. So, therefore, a specialist knowledge is the one that we use in order to our burning desire. Knowledges. With knowledges shall I fulfill myself in order to reach this? Let's think about this. It's real simple. Okay. We talked about a specialist knowledge. The knowledge used for the sake of becoming our desire real. But we're lacking something. The fifth step to being rich is, I may be a little bit crazy. And here it says, imagination. I was trying to be creative. Imagination. Let's play our second game. So, let's imagine the following situation. We are at university, at our college, at school, and we are not having a really nice time, right? Because we are boring. What is this band? What is this woman talk about? I want to go see Instorm. I want to go see Netflix. Hey man, I'm having a tough time. I want to go to my house, read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I'm boring. Man, what happened? I'm inspired. I feel like the blood is going through my veins again. What is happening? Do you get this? I get it real clear. What is this? All the things that we name or call by the name of inspiration is nothing but creative imagination. There are two kinds of imagination in our lives, in our brains, in our minds. There are two kinds of imagination. The first one is called synthetic imagination. This synthetic imagination are the masterpieces that already exist. All the masterpieces, all the art creations that are already available and all around the world. So for example, Leonardo da Vinci, Gioconda, Miguel Angel. We can talk about Edgar Allan Poe, Stories and Tales, Jane Austen, and even Mozart's Requiem, and lots of real nice musical masterpieces. Those are synthetic imagination because they are already created. This creative process was already brought to reality. Even dances, right? Dance styles. What is creative imagination? Is the imagination that is yet to come. Is the creations that are yet to come. Is all these things that we cannot see right here, right now, but it has the potential to become a reality. That's creative imagination. And what's the interesting thing about this? Let's write it down. We can give a definition of creative imagination, the one that Napoleon suggests us. Fourth statement. Imagination is the workshop in which all the plans conceived by human beings are made. Let's write down. Imagination, capital letters, is the workshop in which all the plans conceived by human beings are created. Our imagination is a workshop. Imagination is the workshop in which all human beings' plans are conceived, are created. We have a workshop right here. This is awesome. We have tools, we have capacity to make, to think, to conceive that what we want to make real. Cristóbal Colón, this conqueror, this king. Let's ask ourselves a question. Cristóbal Colón, before discovering our land, our continent, how did he know? How did he even know that there was Americas? That there was a new land? How did he even know? Because this man has something really special. First, a burning desire. Second, faith. Third, self-suggestion. Fourth, a specialized knowledge. And fifth, creative imagination. This man knew, desired, with a lot of passion, with a lot of ensure, that there was something else overseas. He had faith. He was self-suggesting this with emotion. He contracted the professionals, the pirates, to clash next to him, to find the treasure. And then he was given a plan. As long as we self-suggest our burning desire, our purpose, what do we want to do, what do we need from life, sooner or later, a plan, an idea will come to our minds in order to make this real. So, let's go again. We have a burning desire. We have faith. We are self-suggesting as we are imagining this, that becomes real. I'm touching this. I'm having this. I'm having this. Fourth, we have the knowledges and we have the professionals in order to make this become real. And fifth, after all this process has been done, the creative imagination starts to show in our lives. How? Through ideas and through plans. Those words are really important, so let's write down. In the moment that our creative imagination is surely developed, we're going to get lots of plans and ideas. And what are these? These ones are the one through which we were going to make this burning desire true. I have a plan, I will apply it into real life so that it becomes true. I have an idea, I will show you this idea so that my burning desire becomes true. That's the plan, and that's the idea. It's something more real, more concrete, right? So we were lacking a little bit of reality. Now we are getting to the reality stage, my dear architects, constructors. And let's write one thing more. Infinite intelligence. Okay? Okay. Excuse me for that. I didn't have space. All right. But here it says infinite intelligence. Shall we remember our faith definition? In the time we color our thoughts with the faith and the other two emotions, we will have a contact with the intelligence, with the infinite intelligence. And this infinite intelligence is what Napoleon also called creative imagination. The infinite intelligence is that place in which all the plans and ideas were born, are being born, and will be born. When I self-suggest myself, I'm creating the conditions so that we can get these ideas. We don't know exactly how these ideas, this inspiration, this beautiful feeling come to us, but it comes. And in the time this idea and this plan comes, we shall write it down. And then go to the professionals, and then having this knowledge in order to make this plan come real. So we already have the idea and the plan to make our burning desire become true. And now we're going to get to the sixth step to being rich.